guys, James again with TFBTV, and yes, I am super excited today to have the brand new Sig P365. First of all, you guys know I'm a total CCW junkie. I haven't been this excited about a new gun since the Glock 43 when it was introduced. The Sig 365, in case you've been living under a rock for the past 6 months or so, is Sig's new ultra subcompact 9mm pistol, and it's made specifically for carry. Now, some would even say that the 365 is Sig's revolutionary new carry 9. That's because this gun is about the same size as many 6 or 7 round single stack 9mm, but you're packing 11 rounds into a package this size, which is pretty impressive. In fact, unprecedented. So I got to handle the brand new 365 at SHOT Show 2018. I was hanging out with my buddy Rich Morovitz, and he explained that it all started here with the magazine. So the question is, how small can you make a magazine and still get 10 rounds in it? Here's your answer right here. Now, how Sig accomplished this is they do kind of a 1.5 stack, not like a true double stack. The rounds aren't really side by side, and they're not really one on top of the other like in a single stack, like in a 1911 or the Glock 43. This is like a 1.5 stack magazine. They built the mag, and then they designed the gun to work around the magazine. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there was a little stutter step whenever they first introduced these. The pre-production models, the first guns to come off the shelves, had a few teething issues, but Sig got all the 365s that were out there with issues back into the factory, and now you're looking at really like the second generation of the 365. So I am really excited about this because you're getting 11 rounds in a 7 or 8 round size package. So I'm gonna run the hell out of this thing, especially if I might be carrying it. I wanna know if it works. Sig, you know them, the complete systems provider. They sent us 200 rounds of ammunition, so I've got 100 rounds of Sig V Crown hollow point 9mm, I've got 100 rounds of ballpoint, but then I'm gonna throw some Ventura Munitions in there. Ventura Munitions, you know, our beloved sponsor out of Las Vegas. They've sent me some 9mm 124 grain hollow points and some standard ball 9 that I'm gonna run through this, just so we have some third-party ammo. I'm gonna also run some Wolf steel through this gun to see what it can do. And worst of all, this gun is brand new out of the box. I'm not lubricating it. For a concealed carry gun, of course, I think it's dumb to carry a gun without lubricating it. You should always lube your guns. But for a concealed carry gun, I don't like for it to need to be lubricated in order to work. You know, what happens if the lube comes off or you haven't gotten to it in a while, you haven't done your regular maintenance, and you're betting your life on this. You want it to work without lube, so I've just got what it has from the factory in here. We're gonna run 500 rounds through it today of mixed 9mm. Does anybody else get like super uncomfortable when I say lubrication like over and over again? Just me? All right, now before I go into the details, I want to talk to you about the MSRP and the street price. I think MSRP is like 600 bucks, right? But street price, you're looking at $499. I've seen these on pre-order for $499, and that's pretty competitive. Starting from the top and working our way down, check it out. You get the Sig X-ray night sights. So with the standard package, and that's my understanding, again, these are brand new, but it's my appreciation that all of them are going to come with the Sig Light X-ray night sights, which, you know, it's like a $7,500 upgrade. Working further down, you've got a 3.1 inch barrel, which is a little bit shorter than other similar offerings. I think the Glock 43 has a 3.4 inch barrel, but I'm not sure that's going to make that much of a difference. Moving further down, you have fore and aft bilateral slide serrations, and that's pretty neat because there aren't really a lot of guns out there on the market that have fore and aft slide serrations in this size. The 365 does have a rail, but this is a Sig proprietary rail. Now, whether or not Sig put that there because there isn't a lot of real estate in the dust cover forward of the trigger guard here, and this is the only way they could make it work, or because Sig, the complete systems provider, wants to get you to buy their proprietary stuff for the 365. It really makes no difference to me because, again, and I'm going to keep going back to the Glock 43, which is my baby. Face it, that's the main competition for the 365. Well, the Glock 43, you have no rail whatsoever. So at least you have an option. At the end of the day, take it or leave it, because if you're concealed carrying this, there are not a lot of people who are going to want to carry it with a flashlight or a laser. But if there are those of you out there who do, at least you've got the option, right? You've got a reversible magazine release. I'm glad they didn't make it ambi. I'm actually kind of over ambidextrous mag releases. They just aren't as positive as the single side. If you're a left-hander, then just reverse the mag release button and you don't have anything to worry about on the other side of the gun. I really like the design of this frame. You can see it's got kind of an ergonomic shelf right up here, and then beneath it, you've got some very aggressive checkering. It's almost like a stippling on the grip and the front strap and the back strap. Let's talk about the trigger, which I think is one of the most important things for self-defense for a carry gun. This one you're looking at about 6.5, 7 pounds. You get a little bit of take up, as you do with most striker fired guns, and then not very long travel before, boom, you release that striker. But here's the real selling point, very short reset right there. Fantastic trigger right out of the box with the 365. You get 2 mags out of the box. They're both 10 rounders. There's a flush fit. This one's the one that's got a little pinky shelf. A lot of people really do like to have that pinky shelf. I don't mind dangling a pinky to get a little bit extra concealment, but they also make an extended 12-round magazine if you'd like a little bit more capacity. As far as the specs go, the 365 is an inch wide, very thin. It weighs 18.6 ounces, which is slightly heavier than the competition, but you're talking about barely over a pound. The lightest gun I can think of in this category would be the 14-ounce Car PM9, but you're talking about a 6+1 gun, not a 10+1 gun. The slide's stainless steel with a nitron finish. Nitron, one of my favorite finishes out there. Now, real quick, I'm gonna show you guys a comparison between the Glock 43, the 365, and the Glock 26. Now, the Glock 43 is the nearest competitor, again, for the 365, and as you can see, size-wise, they're almost identical. I think the edge goes slightly to the Glock on how thin it is. Size-wise, they're almost indistinguishable. Now, if you look at the Glock 26, the 365 is substantially thinner and smaller, but with the Glock 26, you're still getting 10 rounds plus 1. With the 365, you're still getting 10 rounds plus 1. Now, that's not to detract from the Glock 26's, gosh, 20 some odd year track record of proven reliability, and the fact that it can take magazines from the Glock 19, the Glock 17, all the way up to 33 rounders, which of course is not available in the 365. The Glock 26 is basically the reigning king of the subcompact 10-round guns, but the Sig P365 is coming for the throne. All right, enough talking. Let's get out here and shoot this thing. Sig, do not let me down. As you can see, this thing shoots pretty well. I'm here at 10 yards. Got some 12-inch plates and some 4-inch plates, and just rapid fire, easy as it gets. Now, it is snappy. Make no mistake about that. This isn't a smooth shooting gun, but that's really a limitation of the size of the gun, and similar guns like the Glock 43, the Shield, so on and so forth, you're gonna have that same kind of flip just because you're dealing with a very small gun shooting an intermediate cartridge like 9mm. See that, guys? More often than not, I'm causing the slide to drop forward. The extended mag that I have, it's locking the slide open fine. This flush fit, as is, there must be something with the magazine cut, with the location of the magazine cut, where really only about a quarter of the time is it actually causing the mag to lock back. But that's not a big deal. That is almost certainly a magazine issue. It's been shooting pretty dang well. I mean, guys, so far so good. That is just the 4th box of hollow points. Sig Sauer, the Sig V Crown jacketed hollow point centerfire pistol cartridges. You can pick this up from Sig or from Ventura Munitions. But so far so good. I mean, again, this has been unlubricated, and we've shot maybe 250, 300 rounds through it so far at this point. Again, trigger's fantastic. Is it better than the Glock 43? Out of the box, probably. I would say probably. But again, remember, you're talking about the Glock. You've got a lot of third-party options. That said, this one's ready to rock right out of the box. It's got a slightly shorter reset. It's a slightly better trigger. Slightly. I mean, again, we're not talking about like the Sig, oh, the trigger just blows the Glock trigger out of the water. No, it's about the same trigger weight. It's just, it feels slightly better, and it feels like it's got a slightly shorter reset. And that's just subjective. I could be totally wrong. All right, let's really push the limit on this 365. I've got 115 grain steel Wolf, which is a notoriously dirty, unreliable, and unforgiving ammunition and inaccurate. And we are about 50 yards away from that silhouette target. Not bad. There it is again. Yep, see, slide failed to hold back again that time, but that wasn't bad. That was like 8 or 9 out of 10 at 50 yards on a silhouette target with a subcompact 3.1 inch barrel pistol shooting 115 grain crappy steel ammunition. Not bad. And I gotta say, the 365 is what it's cracked up to be. I've had a great time shooting this pistol today. Let me talk about the negatives first. The negatives, one of the big ones, it really is, I don't know if it's the magazines, I don't know if it's the gun, I don't know if it's both thumbs forward, but I think it's a little bit of all of the above that cause it to fail to lock on the last round. I think I've already identified that I've got maybe a bad magazine, and I don't want to fault the 365 too much for the fact that if you have meaty hands and you are both thumbs forward, if that's how you're trained to shoot, as most of us are, then you're going to accidentally trip this slide release lever. And that's going to lead to you, when after you've fired your 10th or your 11th round and your chamber's empty, it's going to slide home anyways on an empty chamber, and then you're going to have to go over the top. Other than that, I have no complaints. I like the ergos, I like the trigger, I like the sights, I like the fore and aft slide serrations. I think after 500 rounds and no failures, no lubrication, I might add, like I said earlier in the video, I think it's safe to say that you should look at this gun if you're looking for a concealed carry gun and this is something that interests you. Again, let's look at the bottom line. This is a 10+1 gun that is the same size as most 6 and 7+1 guns. The 365 has been very impressive, and I think that these are gonna sell like hotcakes at 500 bucks because, again, for 500 bucks, not only are you getting premium build quality with nitron coated slide over stainless, you get the night sights. I think you get night sights with the $500 model. You get 2 magazines, nice box, and you get a fantastic trigger right out of the box. Ergos are good, weight's good. You're looking at 18 ounces, and again, you're talking about a gun that's only 1 inch thick but holds 11 rounds of 9mm. I didn't even know that that was going to be physically possible someday. Now, I'd seen in some of the previous reviews of the gun, of the preliminary pre-production models, that there was some unusual wear, and you guys saw that. It's for takedown, you're just rotating the takedown lever about 90 degrees, just like with the bigger SIGs. But I'd seen something about unusual slide wear after a range session, and everything internally looks all right to me. I'll bring this up to the camera and show everybody. Everything looks pretty good to me. This just looks like a SIG that's been shot. You get a little wearing of the nitron, especially without lubrication. And after 500 rounds, I don't see anything that causes me any concern. And by the way, putting it together, you actually have to put a little upward tension on the slide release lever in order to get the takedown lever back to 90 degrees. Now, the P365 is much smaller than the Glock 26. I think the Glock 43 has a small size and weight edge over the 365. So am I saying you need to buy this gun and go throw away your Glock 26 or your Glock 43? No, Absolutely not, because remember, you're talking about the Glock 26 has been out for what, 20, 25 years now, and the Glock 43 is based on the same pedigree as all the other Glocks. In and of itself, as its own model, it's also been on the market for a little bit while longer than the 365, and it's proven it works. Everybody loves it. So to wrap everything up, Sig, thank you for not letting me down. I was really worried when I heard about what happened with the pre-production guns, and to see this gun take down every single kind of ammo I could stuff in it today, and work very well at that with an excellent trigger and excellent sights. Guys, this is a real game changer. This is something revolutionary. Congratulations to Sig. Got to say thank you to my most favorite sponsor in the entire world, Ventura Munitions out of Las Vegas. Shot a lot of their ammo today. This thing ate about 250 rounds of Ventura Munitions 124 grain ball, which all ran perfectly. And of course, I got to say thank you to you guys as usual for watching my videos. And guys, if you really like the program, do us a favor and go check us out on Patreon. Give us like $1 a month. There's actually a lot of perks. It's totally worth your $1 a month to support us. And remember, we've been having a hard time with YouTube, with demonetization. I mean, who knows if we'll even be on YouTube in a few months, the way things are going. So we would really appreciate it if you would check us out on Patreon. Guys, thanks a ton. See you next week.